Police had to disperse large crowds in Liverpool last night, just hours before the new restrictions there came into force. Footage on social media showed people dancing in the city's concert square. Liverpool City Region is the only area in England in the top tier with the toughest rules. Our correspondent Dan Johnson sent this report from the Wirral on Merseyside.
No matter which side of the Mersey you're on, life got a little bit tougher this morning, and people are getting used to new rules that are the strictest in the country.
I think it is the right thing. It is sensible to try and quash it, but it is going to stay in the population, isn't it? So as soon as the rules are lax again, then it'll come back again.
This was one snapshot from Liverpool city centre last night. A limited gathering that was over quickly, but perhaps a hint of why extra restrictions are needed. Pressure on hospitals is another factor.
We're in a position here where our intensive care units are running almost full at over 90% capacity, and we have to collectively as a community act together in order to defeat this virus, and that means people leaving bars and young people playing an active part in restraining this virus. If we don't act as a community together, all of us will end up suffering in this kind of lockdown that we're in here.
With lower case numbers across the water on the Wirral, Dion is annoyed.
We didn't have people like that behaving like that. We might not have the issues, the further restrictions that we're facing now.
You feel you're paying the price for what's going on across the water?
Absolutely, 100%, yes. It's the other end of the scale. We've got the silly end of the scale and we've got the extreme end of the scale.
The government's new tiered system of alerts for England is now in force. Most places are at the medium level, where the rule of 6 and the 10 p.m. hospitality curfew will both apply. Some areas have been put on the high level, which means there'll be no household mixing indoors, but the rule of 6 will apply outdoors. The most severe level is very high. That means no mixing of households indoors or outdoors. Pubs and bars will close unless they provide what's called a substantial meal. So far, the Liverpool City Region is the only area put on this highest tier. But cases are also increasing across Lancashire and Greater Manchester, and people in parts of the county have been warned to expect even tougher restrictions.
It's an inevitability with the high rates of infection in most parts of the county area. It's inevitable that we're going to move into tier 3. It's really a question of when and how, and we're working with government trying to put together a package of measures that will mitigate the impact, the inevitable impact on that particular sector of the economy.
Back in Liverpool, here's another strange juxtaposition in these dark, troubled times. The city's being used to film the new Batman movie in an era that's redefined who we regard as superheroes, and Masked Crusader is a part we're all being asked to play.
We can talk to Dan now. And Dan, the Liverpool region might soon be joined by other areas in England in facing the toughest restrictions.
Absolutely, yes. It looks like it's only a matter of time before other parts of the northwest join Liverpool in that toughest tier of restrictions. The only question seems to be exactly what level of support will be available for the workers that will be affected. Of course, places that go into the very highest tier, workers who are forced out of work because of businesses having to close, will qualify for that 2/3 furlough support. And that's why there's a difficult dilemma here, because areas that are at tier 2, workers there don't get that support. So these are the sorts of decisions that are being made. It's very quiet here on the Wirral today. People are adjusting to this further disruption to their social lives. And bear in mind, this part of Merseyside butts up against the Welsh border. There's been talk about travel restrictions there potentially. And today in Scotland, the First Minister advised people not to travel to Blackpool because a number of cases in Scotland have been linked back to Blackpool. So people talking about further travel restrictions and local lockdowns in different areas. And the big question is, when will these measures be reduced? How and when will that happen? How long will this impact go on?
Dan, many thanks. Dan Johnson there.